career high 17 twice.
He's got the distance.
You should know. Brown, 55 metres out distance, no worry. Got the accuracy too. Straight through the middle.
I've often thought that early in the games, Brownie's goal kicking can just be a little bit iffy. But I reckon when you're out near the 50-metre mark and you've got to drive the kick, it almost makes you kick with your full power and technique. He did that terrific.
A lot said about Jonathan Brown's kicking technique, that he moves the ball around before he actually drops the ball. But the experts do say that on the point of contact, it's very consistent every time. And I guess when you're having the long shots from outside 50 and kicking through the ball, that's probably why he is such a reliable kick from outside 50.
I'll watch it. Coming back here, guys, okay?
Such an asset when you kick outside 50, can't you?
You'll find that Brown's going to have a lot of his shots from that 40-metre plus. But given that he's a 55-metre kick and straight, he might make a fair few of them.
And so the Lions back within a point. Back turn by Houlihan. Joseph keeps it low. Walker running hard. Armfield and Sherman there. Good take, Walker. Down low and then kicks to half forward. Another good kick from him. A second good kick. Found Simpson. Simpson a left foot. He couldn't quite get the angle right. Gets it back. High ball by Murphy to the goal square. Betts roving. He's a good snapshot. Still Betts did the right thing over the top. And Henderson kicks the goal against the old team.
It really makes Eddie Betts. I know we've spoken about him earlier. He seems like he's up and about. Playing that, I mean, he's a crumbing forward traditionally, but he does have the ability to come out of the square, which we saw at the start of the game. But here shows probably his number one attribute, just getting at the feet of the tall players and always in the right spots.
And it was important that our Halpin kept his height in the contest. I mean, he is strong. Didn't look like marking it, but he made sure that Brisbane couldn't spoil it a long way from the contest.
That's at one end. Fev toweling down. Henderson.
Okay, guys,
5 goals in his career, but 2 of them for Carlton. This is only his second game, his 5th quarter, if you like. I'll tell you what is happening. Walker is getting a lot of run off Staker at the moment. There's Murphy. Rich did well. Black's away, falling to the ground, into the path of Sherman. Still Sherman. Hand passes inside the 50. Redden goes back. Taken by Leuenberger. Still up. Now Johnston steps inside the 50. This one not coming back. He misses out to the left-hand side. Let's go down to Tim Watson on the boundary.
Bit of a mismatch at the moment for the Brisbane Lions in defence. Drummond's come off the ground. Raines has replaced him, so he's actually had to go to one of the tools. At the moment, he's picking up Jarrett Wade. He did go to Henderson, who Drummond had picked up. He marched him to the goal square, so they've just got a little bit of a problem down there at the moment in terms of height.
So Joseph just dropped the mark and then forced to kick in a hurry. Adcock. Well done, Wade.
Steal.
Went out of bounds.
He's so athletic, Jarrett Wade, isn't he? He really does move like a probably 6'1", but you stand next to the guy and he'd be every bit of 6'4", 6'5", I think, in the old.
So we mentioned before about how would you approach it for Vola, Tom. Does he react well to being hassled? Do you want to make him angry or do you just want to keep him calm? How would you approach it?
Look, I think if you are going to res him up, you want to make sure you've got some, I guess, some wins on the board. You've outmarked him or you've outpointed him around the ground.
Riscatelli, a good steal there, and then from about 48, sprays it across the front of goal and bounces out.
And just back onto that about Fev, I think he has played very well in big games. So, you know, he obviously doesn't struggle to get up emotionally in the arousal levels.
Maybe offer him a beer.
Warnock wins the tap. McLean held up.
Holding the man, threw him down after the ball's disposed of.
So another recruit for the Blues, Brock McLean, who played very well in his opening match against Richmond. Had a terrific year for the Demons back in 06. Carlton with a careful kick again by Armfield. Houlihan, McLean, release Scotland.
Joining the 200 club tonight, Heath Scotland. The bulk of the games with the Blues. Out of bounds, down towards left half forward for Carlton.
It's an interesting decision matchup to put Merritt on to Wade, who's probably the moving tall, and Maguire onto O'Halpin, who's probably not quite as slippery at ground level.
Leuenberger taps it down. Brennan coming off 31 possessions, which equaled his career high last week, and that's a clever kick. Just had the bend on it, and it bounds down towards right half forward. What a talented player. His side in front. They lead by 6 points. In front, a chance for Scotland. Lost it. Was held. He was a bit lucky there. The tackle was simply completed. He lost control of the footy on the way down. Held too long, said the umpire.
Just 10 minutes of play. You think the umpires are keen to make sure the tackler lets go of the tackle straight away.
And so Houlihan takes his time, tries to draw free down the ground. Out of play as we go back down to the ground to Tim.
I like what Carlton are doing with their forward line. They're really moving the players across the ground. We wondered what they were going to do without Favola. It's given them a lot more option. At the moment, Drummond's come back onto the ground. He's playing at full back on Yarrett, and he doesn't want to be there. He's uncomfortable. He keeps looking around, seeing if he can switch with someone.
So early points maybe to the Blues. Just a goal in it. McLean belts it forward with a handball.
Oh.
Simpson running hard. Little lefty behind.
Yes, I think Carlton would very much like Drummond playing full-back rather than half-back, so you can expect those, whatever Carlton forward takes a Drummond matchup, will try to push deep.
Chris, no more. That's your limit.
Josh Drummond to bring it in then. That's his last resort, really. Such a good kick. He doesn't need to do that. Doesn't want to do that.
It's interesting again, Carlton tend to be playing man-to-man. They're not actually zoning off the ground, which is very unusual. These days, almost everybody has got a full ground zone in place from this this play. I think they must be really keen to stop the line spreading the ball out of defence.
Briscatelli's got the football now. Got it from Maguire. Plays on. Beats Houlihan. Now he runs away and kicks towards the outer side wing. Brown got a hand to it. Couldn't reel it in. So a boundary throw in. Just down towards right half forward for Carlton. They've done the bulk of the attacking. They lead 13-7 midway through the opening term on Thursday night football. As we said, sell-out crowd. Clark goes up, lays it down into the path of Black. Was he pushed in the back? I think he was.
And I'm pleased to see that. I love it when the bloke is bottom of the pack, when they jump on his back, he gets a free kick. He's almost open slather lately.
So Black to Briscatelli. Adcock down the line. Favola read it pretty well. He goes for it off the ground. I reckon he's got it. He's on the board against the Blues.
Really just needed to make some contact there, young Jamison. The ball was probably looking like it was going to go over the top the whole time, but just to get a fist on it, the first opportunity to make an impression on his direct opponent, and then Fev's got the win.
He just recovered a bit quicker. I've often said, I don't know how rapt you'd be if Fev was your son-in-law, but you want him in your footy team because he's a talented player, and we know he can mark the ball, but there was that ability to just out-body, out-position, and be too agile for Jamison that earned him the goal.
And we spoke about Fev before, what he's actually like. I mean, he loves being up and about.
Yeah.
We can see it now. He's straight into Brent Thornton. He's got a goal on the board, and he's just as likely to come out and kick a bag.
Yeah.
Yes, he's strutting now. Interesting, too, he's sockered 2 of his 4 goals for Brisbane. Umpire calling it back. It would have been nice to have a microphone in the Carlton coach's box when he sockered that. I wonder what they would say.
Power on his own on the wing on this side.
Cruiser. McLean has been very good and clean. Murphy to Joseph. The high ball goes down towards half forward. Howell it bounced awkwardly. Rains did well to Johnston. Brisbane with the numbers on the outer side. They'll bring it away. Rains has it again. This time in his hands. Last time that wonderful knock set this up. Brennan kicks down towards half forward. In front, Brown hands in the back will get the free. Well, I think he's paid a hole. Either 1 or 2.
Stay away. No, it's all right.
Just know the Blues have got to keep a tight rein on Brown and Favola all night. They've kicked the opening 2 goals between them. And so back to Merritt. He's got Adcock very wide. I think he's going to go that way. And he's kicked it in front of Adcock. And if it just sits, he's within range. But he's now very wide. Little kick forward. Russell paved the way. Cruiser did well. Banfield held him up. Russell to Betts. To Cruiser, who took that extra step. Kicks to Henderson at half. Centre wing, and he's